Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Global Forbidden Land. Only I Contract Konoha Genin. Chapter 21. These members of the ghost killing team all have threads behind them. These threads control their actions. Suyu said to Duan Binglin and the others. The two Tomo Sharingan in his eyes can see the silk thread perfectly. Soon, more and more members of the Ghost Slayer squad are controlled by silk thread. All of them moved stiffly, and many of them were already dead, but they were controlled by silk threads and acted in the state of corpses. And a small number of people are still breathing. Sister, in this forbidden area, as long as I kill a ghost, can I leave? If you kill a member of the ghost killing squad, will there be any consequences? Suyu suddenly asked Duan Binglin. Duan Binglin maintained a state of defense, looking at the puppet of the ghost killing team in front of her. She replied, there are no consequences. Generally speaking, as long as you kill a ghost, you can choose to leave the forbidden area. You can also choose to stay, but there is no benefit. The forbidden area of Ghost Slayer Blade has been explored by seniors from Yangcheng University. Some of them chose to stay in the forbidden area and learn breathing techniques in the ghost killing team. However, it takes too long to learn the breathing method, and it is far less rewarding than exploring other forbidden areas. Suyu nodded. In his opinion, the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer Blade does not have much effect on the improvement of the strength of ordinary warriors. If you learn the breathing method, it is too time-consuming. It often takes 3 or 4 years to master. This is also the reason why Yangcheng University did not explore the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer Blade deeply. But for Suyu, he doesn't need to learn at all. He only needs to use Sharingan and the breath of the sun to perfectly reproduce all the breathing methods in Demon Slayer Blade. At this time, the puppets of the controlled ghost killing team had already arrived in front of Suyu and others. Suyu, the silk thread you mentioned, we can't see it at all. Enruruo said to Suyu at this time. As a support in the team, Enruruo's frontal combat power is the weakest. Just use the blade to cut the back of these people, and it should be able to cut the thread. There is no need to attack the bodies of these members of the ghost killing team, because even if they die, they will still be manipulated by the thread. Buy me some time, I can find the ghost who manipulates these threads. The Sharingan of Suyu's Xuanguyu began to run continuously. His eyes were not on these members of the ghost killing squad. According to the plot of the original book, these silk threads come from the mother who is tired at the end of the year. This spider, Yamanaka, lives in a family that is exhausted. Lei's so-called family members are all ghosts controlled by him, under the influence of Lei's flesh and blood. These ghosts all have some abilities of spiders. And these silk threads come from the ability of the tired mother. Suyu thought silently in his heart. Insights via Sharingan. Suyu's eyes kept following the silk thread, searching for the body that controlled the silk thread ghost. Found it. At this time, Duan Binglin and the others had already fought with these manipulated members of the ghost killing team. The strength of these ghost killing team members is not outstanding, otherwise they would not be captured. Moreover, under the control of the silk thread, these members of the ghost killing squad cannot use breathing techniques. Therefore, it is not the opponent of Duan Binglin and others at all. However, even if these members of the ghost killing team are dead, they can still launch attacks under the control of silk threads. If it goes on for a long time, the physical strength of Duan Binglin and others will not be able to hold on. Now, I heard Suyu say he found it. Duan Binglin and the others had a flash of surprise in their hearts. Sister, you should have mastered your breath of thunder. Suyu suddenly asked Duan Binglin. Understood, what's wrong? In your 12 o'clock direction, 330 meters away, is the main body of the silk thread ghost. Thunder's breath is the fastest, only you, senior, are the most suitable for beheading that ghost. We're moving there now, and when the time is right, senior sister, you can kill that ghost. Although Suyu has already engraved the breath of thunder from Shani. But Suyu didn't want to kill the ghost that manipulated the silk thread. Because Spider Mountain is the site of 5 tired people. Shaxian's strength. According to the information given by the seniors of Yangcheng University, Shaxian's strength is at least 4 stars. Among the 5, Suyu is the only one who can stand up to the next string. 5 tired at the end of the string, and it hasn't appeared yet. Without using the 8 inner gate's 4th gate, I can't beat the tiredness quickly. Su Yu knew something about the tiredness of the last 5. Tired's personality is extremely distorted, and the so-called family members are all controlled by him by means. However, this does not negate the strength of the tired. At least, Duan Binglin and the others couldn't resist the tired ones. Leave these manipulated ghost-killing teams alone. Now, head quickly toward the 12 o'clock direction. Su Yu said to the crowd. At this time, don't come to interfere with our family's life. A figure appeared in the air. Duan Binglin and the others also saw this figure, or ghost. This ghost can fly. Wu Dun said in disbelief. No, he is standing in the air on silk threads. Su Yu replied. His face also became a little dignified at this time. Because, he is very clear about the identity of the ghost in front of him. It is the 5 tired at the end of the string. A full moon. Shining on the entire Spider Mountain. Wu Lei stood in the air at the end of the string. Looking down at Su Yu and his party. Duan Binglin and the others were terrified by the sense of oppression originating from Shaxian ghost. This feeling, is this the ghost of the string? And Ruruo said with some fear. In the progress of Yangcheng University's exploration of the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer, Blade, Shaxian ghost is the strongest ghost. Only the 9 pillars in the ghost-killing team can deal with it. Looking tired at the end of the string, Su Yu and others. But he didn't intend to make a move. Kill him, Dad. The next string is extremely sick, as the bottom string. He controlled 4 family members in name, but in fact they were puppet ghosts. The ghost that used the silk thread to control the members of the ghost-killing squad was precisely the tired mother. But at this moment, accompanied by tired orders, a gigantic ghost appeared. This ghost is more than 2 meters tall, and its body is extremely muscular. The top of the head is covered with dense compound eyes. Even people who don't have intensive phobia will feel a little creepy when they see it. The aura of this ghost is very strong, but it is still within the range of 3 stars. I hate you people the most. You always come to disturb the peaceful life of our family. Tired tone, extremely calm, but matched with his suffocating sense of oppression. The hearts of Duan Binglin and the others were all icy cold. Student, I'm afraid we will die in the forbidden area this time. Duan Binglin suddenly said to Su Yu. The strength of Sha Xiangui is far from what we can defeat. The perception between 4 stars and 3 stars is a natural barrier that cannot be crossed. If there is a chance, Junior, you will kill the 3-star ghost. To get out of the forbidden area. There was some despair in Duan Binglan's tone. Although Cao Ying and the others did not speak, they vaguely protected Su Yu in the middle. Obviously, their thoughts were the same as Duan Binglan's. Su Yu was stunned. He and Cao Ying have not known each other for a long time. Between Duan Binglin and Duan Binglin, there were only a few times of sparring experience. He couldn't understand why these 4 people wanted to protect him. Duan Binglin seemed to see Su Yu's doubts. She said, Student, you are very strange. It's strange why the 3 of us, and Ruruo and I, chose to protect you. Not because of anything, just because you are the martial artist with the most outstanding potential among us. It would be a pity to die in the forbidden area. And Ruruo nodded. She said, I don't know about other schools, but I am Yangcheng University, and I have always been like this. As the first line of defense against ferocious beasts, Yangcheng University has always protected those outstanding fighters in times of crisis. Wu Dun also smiled and said, in terms of age, you are the youngest among us. At a young age, I have 3-star strength, and I can't predict what realm I can reach in the future. The time you came to Yangcheng University is too short. You have never formally fought against a beast. Under the attack of fierce beasts, human beings can only preserve their vitality to the greatest extent. The same is true for warriors. Your talent is the most outstanding among us, and the value of your survival is the greatest. Although Cao Ying didn't speak, but his hands have already put on a posture. That was the opening move of the flowing water breaking rock fist. In Su Yu's heart, there was an indescribable feeling silently. He remembered the middle-aged teacher who recommended him to Yangcheng Martial Arts University. The 2 are obviously not related, but the middle-aged teacher just doesn't want Su Yu's talent to be wasted. At all costs, Su Yu joined Yangcheng Martial Arts University. So, is this the warrior? So, is this Yangcheng Martial Arts University? Su Yu suddenly understood how Yangcheng University was rebuilt after Yangcheng was destroyed. Originally, Su Yu joined Yangcheng Martial Arts University only because Yangcheng Martial Arts University has the largest number of forbidden areas. But now, for the first time in his heart, he had a sense of identification with Yangcheng University. Sister, Senior. Su Yu stepped out of the protective circle of the crowd. He stood in front of the giant ghost controlled by Lei. Looking at Sha Shanlei, and the huge ghost. Thank you, but now, it's not time for you to work hard. A smile appeared on the corner of Su Yu's mouth. He seems to have never fully used his own power. He bowed slightly. Say it silently in your heart. Injury door, open. As the fourth gate of the 8 inner gates, the injury gate is the real 8 inner gates. Entering this gate, the body will start to suffer huge damage. However, Su Yu inherited the physique from Uzumaki Naruto, and the strong resilience allows Su Yu to reduce this damage to a very small extent. Once the injury door is opened, Su Yu's attack and speed will reach a terrifying level. Afterwards, Su Yu held the sun wheel saber at his waist. Breathing began to enter a strange state. A streak of yellow thunder appeared on Su Yu's body. Breath of thunder, one-shaped thunderbolt flash. In the next moment, under the unbelievable eyes of Duan Binglan and the others, Su Yu turned into a flash of yellow lightning and rushed towards the two ghosts. Su Yu, who opened the door to injury, has improved his physical fitness in all aspects. Coupled with the breath of thunder, it is the most explosive and fastest breathing method in the breathing method, at this moment. The strength shown by Su Yu has far surpassed the level of 3-star fighters. Su Yu turned into a yellow electric light. The speed was far beyond the imagination of Duan Binglan and the others. Reaching several times the speed of sound, Su Yu easily broke the sound barrier while moving. A thunderous sonic boom sounded. Breath of thunder, one-shaped thunderbolt flash. 4 in a row. When Shaxian Lei and the puppet ghost controlled by Lei hadn't reacted yet, the sun wheel knife in Su Yu's hand cut off the limbs of that tired father in name, who was actually a puppet ghost. You human being, dare to break the peace of our family. Damn you. Tired on the 5th day of the next string, his face became ferocious and terrifying. Tired as a ghost. The personality is extremely distorted, and he has a distorted attachment to the family bond. The puppet ghost controlled by Lei is only Lei's father in name, and the two have no blood relationship in fact. At this moment, after Su Yu made a move, Lei was obviously extremely angry. Su Yu, on the other hand, ignored Tired's words. He squats his legs slightly. The sun wheel knife in his hand condensed energy again. But this time, it was no longer breath of thunder. It's the breath of the sun that Su Yu got from Tanjiro. Breath of the sun, one-shaped round dance. The sun wheel knife in his hand ignited a flame. This is not just flames, but the energy produced by the breath of the sun that is extremely lethal to ghosts. As the name suggests, the breath of the sun. The energy produced by the sun's breath is like the energy of the sun. Su Yu's legs exerted strength. Under the influence of the 8 inner gates, Su Yu's legs contained enormous strength. Leap lightly. From bottom to top, Su Yu swung the sun wheel saber towards Lei at an extremely fast speed. Tired complexion changed drastically. Subconsciously use vampirism to defend. Countless silk threads, manipulated by Lei, formed a large net in front of him. Blood ghost art killing eye cage. Like a flower rope, it weaves a spider web that can bind the enemy in all directions, grabs the opponent and then strangles it in one breath. This was originally a means of killing many powerful enemies due to the tiredness of Shaxian Ghost. But in front of Su Yu, the seemingly unbreakable spider web was easily cut off by the sun wheel knife in Su Yu's hand. To die, tired and dead in my heart. The next moment, the sun wheel knife in Su Yu's hand carried a flame like the sun. Across the tired neck, cut off the tired head. With just one hand, the sun wheel knife in Su Yu's hand will burn his entire body into ashes. After being beheaded as Shaxian Gaile, his vitality is complete. He has not died directly, and he seems to want to say something. As a result, before he had time, Su Yu inserted the sun wheel knife into his head. Turn it into ashes. Duan Binglan and the others looked at Su Yu blankly. They and themselves already had high regard for Su Yu. But right now, Su Yu only has one move. so they killed the evil spirits in their eyes. Not just Duan Binglin and the others. Tanjiro and Inosuke were originally at the foot of Spider Mountain. At this time, Kankin arrived. They witnessed the blow that Suyu killed Sha Shanlei with their own eyes. In the ghost killing team, is there such a strong person? Why is the breathing method he uses so familiar? Tanjiro looked at Suyu blankly. In his opinion, Suyu's strength, even compared to some pillars, is not far behind. Phew, the breath of the sun and the 8 inner gates are really heavy on the body. Suyu closed the 8 inner gates and also stopped the breath of the sun. He fell gently from the air to the ground. If I keep opening the 4th gate, I can only fight for 3 hours at most. However, with the addition of the breath of the sun, my current strongest fighting state can be maintained for an hour. Suyu shook his head, obviously not very satisfied. As for Duan Binglin and the others, they were already dumbstruck. They go through the experience from hell to heaven. Originally, after encountering Shaxian Wulei, they basically felt that they died in the forbidden area this time. However, when Suyu broke out suddenly, beheading Wulei in one blow, Duan Binglin and the others felt an unreal feeling in their hearts. Suyu didn't say much. He knew that Duan Binglin and the others might have to digest for a while. To accept the facts, he kicked the ghost whose limbs had been severed by him, and kicked it in front of Duan Binglin and the others. He said, "Senior sister, come and kill this ghost. In a while, we will kill the other ghosts on this mountain." In Suyu's memory, there are 5 ghosts in the Tired family. Tired, and the 4 ghosts controlled by him with fear. They are his mother, father, sister and brother. They are all weaker ghosts, and they are controlled by Tired means, so they play house games with Lei. Coincidentally, Suyu, Duan Binglin and others were also 5 people. If one person kills one, he can return at any time. And Tanjiro and Inosuke. Come over. Tanjiro smiled at Suyu. Senior, we are members of the Demon Slayer squad. After receiving the message from Raven, I came to Spider Mountain to help. Suyu nodded. He glanced at Tanjiro, then looked at the wooden box behind Tanjiro. Tanjiro is the protagonist of Demon Slayer, Blade, precisely because his sister became a ghost. He joined the ghost killing squad in order to find a way to save his sister. Tanjiro was a little nervous. He was obviously afraid that Suyu would notice Nezuko in the box behind him. Most of the members of the ghost killing team hate ghosts very much. Obviously, he was afraid that Suyu would attack him. The demon killing team has team rules, and Tanjiro's younger sister, Nezuko, has become a ghost. According to the team rules, members of the ghost killing team cannot protect ghosts. If you encounter a ghost, you must kill it. The powerful strength shown by Suyu just now can completely bypass Tanjiro's protection. Beheaded his sister Nezuko, who was an Oni. Suyu looked at the nervous Tanjiro and showed a kind smile. Don't be so nervous. The ghost here has already been killed by me. The remaining ghosts on Spider Mountain, my team members and I, will take care of them. With that said, Suyu pointed to the puppet members of the Ghost Slayer squad who were controlled by spider threads. You two, you should have just joined the ghost killing squad not long ago, right? In this case, you go to rescue those who are controlled by the spider's silk. After finishing speaking, Suyu didn't care what Tanjiro thought. He took Duan Binglin and others to find the remaining 3 ghosts. The goal of Suyu entering the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer, Blade, is to obtain the 5 basic breathing methods. In the ghost killing team, the one who has a comprehensive grasp of the 5 basic breathing methods is the strongest in the ghost killing team. 9 pillars. If I remember correctly, Tanjiro's younger sister, after the ghost's identity was discovered. The Demon Slayer squad conducted a trial against Tanjiro called the Chura Union Conference, which gathered all the pillars in the Demon Slayer squad. Quote, "If I'm going to acquire pranayama, that's the best time to do it." Duan Binglin and the others have been silent since Suyu showed his strength just now. After they separated from Tanjiro Inosuke. At this moment, someone finally spoke. Wu Dun said, "Suyu, how can you be so strong? The blow just now probably far surpassed the level of a 3-star fighter, and even a 4-star fighter can't match it. That's just a small hole card I got before, and I can't use it often." Suyu made a perfunctory sentence. Seeing this, Wu Dun didn't say any more. It is very interesting to choose to skip this question. In his opinion, it is normal for warriors to have their own secrets. Su Yu, I felt a ghost's breath behind that red-haired kid just now. And Ruruo spoke at this moment. The red-haired boy she was referring to was none other than Tanjiro. It seems that the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer Blade has undergone great changes, and the situation of the Ghost Slayer team is also very different from when we entered before. Let's kill the ghost quickly, and if we meet the conditions for returning, let's go back. We have to report to the academy immediately about the change of the forbidden area. Duan Binglin recovered from the shock of Su Yu's display of strength just now. After she regained her composure, the first thing she did was analyze the current situation. For them, the breathing method has already been obtained, so staying in the forbidden area is of no benefit. Right now, the most important thing is to tell Yangcheng University about the change of the forbidden area. Su Yu also nodded. According to his memory, the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer Blade officially entered the plot. All kinds of powerful ghosts will appear. 5 tired at the end of the string, he looks strong and has the level of a 4-star warrior. However, in Demon Slayer Blade, above the bottom string, there is also the top string. Such a dangerous forbidden place is no longer suitable for the students of Yangcheng University to practice. After killing the remaining 3 ghosts, everyone has fulfilled the return conditions. Su Yu said to Duan Binglin and the others at this time, "Senior sister, after killing the ghost, you should choose to return. I will stay in the forbidden area alone and explore again. Only by obtaining more information can Yangcheng University make better decisions about the forbidden area. At least, Sha Xiangui, there is no threat to me. Even if I encounter an opponent I can't defeat, I can still find an opportunity to escape from the forbidden area." Duan Binglin originally wanted to persuade Su Yu to act. But she thought of Su Yu's amazing strength, and nodded helplessly. "Okay, since you want to continue exploring, Junior, let's leave first." Soon after satisfying the regression condition, Duan Binglin and the others were once again wrapped by the beam of light, leaving the forbidden area of Demon Slayer Blade. As for Su Yu, after seeing Duan Binglin and the others leave at this time, there was a smile on his face. "Now, senior sister, they have all left the forbidden area. They were there before, and there are some things that I can't let go of. Now, no one bothers me. Moreover, after the change of the forbidden area, Yangcheng University should prohibit people from entering the forbidden area. Now, I can maximize my familiarity with the plot." At that moment, Su Yu walked towards Tanjiro's direction. After Duan Binglin and his party left the forbidden area, they returned to the military restricted area. As soon as they left the restricted area, Duan Binglin and the others realized something was wrong. "Why, there are a lot fewer soldiers here." At this time, the guard guarding the forbidden area saw the return of Duan Binglin and others. "Are you warriors from Yangcheng University? The beast tide has started, and most of the soldiers have gone to deploy their defenses. Your Yangcheng University has also received the impact of the beast tide at this time." Hearing this, the expressions of Duan Binglin and the others changed. The beast tide is a disaster caused by fierce beasts attacking the city. Every once in a while, it happens. Okay, let's go back and resist the beast. As for the forbidden area of Demon Slayer Blade, great changes have taken place, and one of our teammates is still exploring in it. The forbidden area has become very dangerous. Don't let people enter without a thorough investigation. After Duan Binglin explained clearly to the guard, he took Cao Ying and the 3 of them and ran in the direction of Yangcheng University. For warriors, the meaning of their existence is to resist fierce beasts. Yangcheng University. At this moment, Yangcheng University, as the first line of defense, is naturally the most impacted by the beast tide. The ferocious beasts all over the sky, like the tide, swept in. Throughout Yangcheng University, the roars of ferocious beasts came and went, deafening. There was even a trace of bloody smell in the air. Extremely pungent. Duan Binglin and the others had just returned to the outskirts of Yangcheng University when they were attacked by several 3-star beasts. But fortunately, several of them are 3-star fighters, and with the many improvements they got in the forbidden area of Blade of Ghost Slayer, they are much stronger than before. Atomic Slash. Duan Binglin gave a coquettish cry, and the silver sword in her hand breathed out streams of sharp sword aura. Accompanied by the thunder-breathing method, these sword auras flashed out like thunder. Surrounded by terrifying power, in an instant, the several three-star beasts in front of him were directly beheaded. Blood sprinkled the whole earth. The remaining limbs of the beast were scattered all over the place. Although they had killed several three-star beasts, their expressions were still not very good-looking. You know, this is the periphery of Yangcheng University, and there are three-star beasts even here, so how powerful are the beasts in Yangcheng University? A few people can't even imagine. Go, I feel uneasy. Duan Binglin frowned, and said to Cao Ying and the others. Cao Ying and the others nodded and rushed towards Yangcheng University. At this moment in Yangcheng University, above the sky, there are ferocious beasts waving huge fleshy wings. The fleshy wings swept across, and there were gusts of wind, and some students with slightly weaker cultivation bases were almost unable to stand still. Suddenly, a loud shout resounded. Bastard! Court death! Many students looked at the sky. I saw a man with a scar on his face, stepping into the void step by step, with powerful energy bursting out from his body. Impressively, it was the president of Yangcheng University, Li Yeshan. Li Yeshan had a ferocious expression on his face, and the scars on his face seemed to follow the twist of Li Yeshan's face, and began to squirm little by little, like a lion majesty, entwined around Li Yeshan's face. Die to me! Li Yeshan let out a loud cry, and the clothes on his upper body exploded in an instant, revealing his hardcover muscles. On the upper body, there are a series of hideous scars, all of which come from the arms of fierce beasts. In Li Yeshan's eyes, there was endless hatred, and he punched out, and the red light kept flashing on Li Yeshan's fist. An unparalleled force erupted from Li Yeshan's fist. Rumble. Above the sky, there seemed to be a thunderbolt that suddenly exploded. A gigantic five-star beast forcibly resisted Li Yeshan's punch, and its flesh was pierced through, and the blood dripped down, even corroding the ground. But at this time, from the depths of Yangcheng University, one after another figures burst out, standing proudly between the sky and the earth, each one of them released terrifying fluctuations. Impressively, each of them is an existence above 5 stars. The battle above the sky is imminent. And on the ground, the students of Yangcheng University also faced the ferocious beasts and killed them one after another. On the ground, there are many ferocious beasts with a 4-star level, and there are even many of them. The ferocious beasts like the tide kept rushing into Yangcheng University, killing everything. Some students were too late to prepare, and were directly torn apart mercilessly. Blood seemed to be the only theme of the day. But at this time, Duan Binglin and the others were long overdue. Looking at the desolate Yangcheng University, Duan Binglin and Enruruo couldn't help but turn slightly pale. After all, as women, even if they are warriors, it's still a bit difficult to accept. As for Cao Ying, they were slightly better. In an instant, there was a reaction. Wu Dun directly manipulated the sand between the sky and the earth, turning it into sand armors, covering everyone's bodies. At the same time, he manipulated the sand to turn it into a sea of sand, and killed the fierce beasts all over the sky. But a person's power is always limited. Suddenly, there was a burst of shouting. Binglin, go support old Wu. All I saw was a black-clothed young man waving a black gold iron rod in his hand. Every time the rod went down, he easily crushed a 3-star beast into pieces. It's Brother Lan. Duan Binglin recognized the man in black, and then looked in another direction, where there was a one-eyed young man with an indifferent expression, who opened his mouth to spit at a group of ferocious beasts. Great Fireball. Konoha Chunin's ninjutsu from Hokage. Ho ho ho. There were bursts of beast sounds, and I saw 2 ferocious and terrifying tiger-like beasts roaring out and killing the one-eyed young man. Indeed, each one is a 4-star beast. Even the one-eyed young man couldn't help but change his expression slightly in the face of 2 4-star beasts. But at this moment, a flash of thunder flashed out, accompanied by sharp sword energy, abruptly blocking the attack of 2 4-star level beasts. But at the same time, when the sword light exploded, Duan Binglan's tender body turned into a parabola, and fell heavily to the ground. The one-eyed youth got a chance to breathe, and quickly shouted. I'll take care of one end, and the other end, the 4 of you will take care of it. Without time to worry about these, the one-eyed youth directly fought with one of the ferocious tigers and beasts. Cao Ying and Wu Dun looked at each other, and punched out. Flowing water breaking rock fist. Cao Ying roared out, and the powerful force exploded directly. But the 4-star fierce beast is not so easy to resist. With a stiff tiger claw, it grabbed Cao Ying's fist, and with a light flick, Cao Ying's body was thrown into the air. Seeing this, even Duan Binglan, who barely stood up just now, couldn't help turning pale. At the same time, in the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer, Su Yu bid farewell to Duan Binglan and the others, and quickly followed behind Tanjiro. With the improvement of Rock Lee's physical skills, Su Yu is like a spider, using various terrains to avoid the detection of Tanjiro and the other two. Sure enough, the subsequent plot was exactly the same as the anime Su Yu watched. After the identity of Tanjiro's younger sister is discovered, the Demon Slayer squad holds a meeting with Tanjiro. After a battle, Tanjiro and his sister were taken away by the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad, where the master of the Demon Slayer team, Ubuyashiki, and the strongest swordsman Zuhei held a meeting. Pillar reprimands Tanjiro for violating team rules by protecting ghosts in the Demon Slayer squad. Kazunari turned the sword towards Yasuko, but in the end, when the main production Yoshiki finally appeared in front of Tanjiro, he agreed to everything. Su Yu turned into a member of the ghost killing squad, silently watching everything in front of him. Sure enough, it was exactly the same as the plot where I saw Ghost Slayer, Blade. Then next, Su Yu shifted his gaze to Feng Zhu's body, with a trace of expectation in his eyes. The next moment, Feng Zhu cut his arm with a knife and squeezed out blood. He intends to use his own blood to draw out the ghost nature in Mi-Du-Z. It's now. Sharingan in Su Yu's eyes, the double hook jade turned instantly, imitating every move of Feng Zhu. Wind Pillar Immortal Kawaminami is the representative of Breath of Wind, full of sharp feeling. And in another direction, the Rock Pillar mourns and the Breath of the Rock. Yanzu Purgatory Xing Shulang's Breath of Flame. Everything is copied bit by bit in Su Yu's Sharingan. I don't know how long passed, Su Yu's Sharingan stopped turning, and at this time, Su Yu also understood. The remaining 3 basic breaths can be obtained by yourself. Su Yu held back his excitement and said to himself in his heart. Open the properties panel. Name: Su Yu. Race: human. Constitution: 1000. Spirit: 800. Strength: 1000. Agility: 1000. Abilities: 8 Inner Gates 3rd Gate, Shungman Atomic Slash, Breath of the Sun, God of Fire Kagura, Breath of Water, Breath of Wind, Breath of Rock, Breath of Fire, Breath of Thunder. Lineage: Body of Uzumaki, Sharingan Sangoyu. Su Yu's heart was suddenly filled with surprise. My own Sharingan, in the midst of my own constant duplication, has evolved into the 3-Go Jade, which has doubled my spiritual power. At this moment, Su Yu just felt that his brain was filled with bursts of clarity. Everything seemed to become clearer. It's over, Su Yu murmured. Without the slightest nostalgia, Su Yu directly chose to leave. A beam of light wrapped Su Yu's body, and then left the forbidden area of Ghost Slayer. After Su Yu left the forbidden area, he returned to the military restricted area. As soon as he got out of the restricted area, Su Yu realized something was wrong. Why? There are a lot fewer soldiers here. At this time, the guard guarding the forbidden area saw Su Yu, and quickly explained the beast tied to Su Yu. What? Besieging Yangcheng University. Su Yu's face was full of disbelief, and his face gradually became serious. The beast tide has always been an extremely difficult thing. Every time there is a beast tide, human beings don't know how many strong people will fall. I didn't expect that such a thing happened just after I left the forbidden area. But, Su Yu clenched his fists, and he got the 5 major breathing methods, which improved his fighting power. You know, before he got the other 3 major breathing methods, Su Yu was able to kill ghosts comparable to 4 stars. And now, Su Yu's eyes gradually became firm. As soon as the body moved, the Breath of Thunder was activated instantly, and the body swept away in the direction of Yangcheng University like a bolt of lightning. Ultimate speed made the soldiers guarding here couldn't help but be shocked. Hiss, are the current students so scary? In Yangcheng University, countless stumps were scattered on every foot of the ground, and the blood seemed to turn into a puddle of blood on the ground, flowing continuously. Atomic Slash. Duan Binglin yelled, and swung out one sword after another. Her face was completely tired. Together, she and Cao Ying were able to withstand a 4-star beast. In Yangcheng University, there are more than 10 4-star beasts. Moreover, with such a huge beast horde, several 4-star students in Yangcheng University were injured one after another. All the others are students below 4 stars. Facing the ferocious 4-star beast, those disciples were like lambs stepping into a pack of wolves, without any resistance. A look of despair gradually appeared on Duan Binglan's face. On the sky, the strong men of the academy were all fighting the fierce beasts above 5 stars. Even if they were anxious to see the battle situation below, they didn't have any extra strength to spare. And the battle below has obviously become the key point. But Yangcheng students can't resist at all. Desperation gradually filled the hearts of every Yangcheng University student. Even those 4-star level students are the same. There is no way, there are too many beasts. Duan Binglin was slightly absent-minded, and the 4-star level beast found an opportunity, and suddenly killed Duan Binglin with its ferocious claws. The strong wind seemed to tear Duan Binglan's body apart. Am I going to die? Duan Binglin stared blankly ahead. The terrifying beast claws were about to approach. For some reason, at this moment, Duan Binglin thought of a figure. The junior who just entered school. It would be nice if he was there. But at this moment, a figure like thunder came to Duan Binglin in an instant. Accompanied by bursts of humming. Water-breathing one-shaped water surface slash. Boom. With a bang, the claws of the 4-star beast broke in an instant. Blood gushes out, dripped on the man's clothes. Duan Binglin opened her eyes slightly, breathing hard. I'm not dead. Duan Binglin looked ahead suspiciously. A resolute figure met Duan Binglan's eyes. That is. The young man turned around slowly, with a smile on his lips. Sister, don't be distracted by fighting. Su Yu. Su Yu. A look of surprise appeared in Duan Binglan's beautiful eyes. If it wasn't for her weakness, maybe Duan Binglin would jump up and hug Su Yu by now. It's really that Su Yu came too timely, just like a savior. Let Duan Binglan's heart flutter. The three surrounding in Ruruo also noticed Su Yu's appearance, and the beast was about to tear Duan Binglin to pieces. The hearts of several people are also extremely sad and indignant, but there is nothing they can do. But now, with the appearance of Su Yu, several people saw a glimmer of light. Wu Dun clenched his fists, a smile appeared on his face. The unsmiling Cao Ying also showed a rare smile. Su Yu smiled slightly, and said to Duan Binglin, Senior, let's wait a while to talk about the past, let's deal with the beast first. Aha! Duan Binglin was full of joy, seeing Su Yu's appearance. Little stars seemed to appear in her beautiful eyes. Immediately, as if thinking of something again, Duan Binglin said hastily, Su Yu, be careful, that's 4 stars. Before the words finished, it was only seen that Su Yu was holding the sun wheel knife alone. Step by step, he walked slowly towards the 4-star beast. Every time he took a step, he released an extremely terrifying aura, like an old martial artist who had settled down for a long time, releasing his own edge at this moment. So handsome, Duan Binglin murmured. Su Yu looked at the fierce tiger-like beast, his eyes were full of indifference. These ferocious beasts broke through the human cities and slaughtered many human compatriots. To Su Yu, they were just beasts without the slightest bit of pity. So, be punished. The sun wheel knife is raised high, and the 5 breathing methods are activated instantly. In the eyes, Sengoyu turned wildly. In just an instant, he found the weakness of the beast. Found it. Breath of thunder one-shaped thunderbolt flash. Su Yu rushed out like a flash of yellow lightning. The speed was so fast that even the 4-star beast couldn't see Su Yu's trajectory clearly. It could only growl at Su Yu's previous position. Boom. Suddenly, Su Yu appeared directly above the beast, and the sunwheel knife dropped instantly. As if possessing a mighty force, he abruptly cut that 4-star beast in half. Click. Even the ground was cracked with a ferocious crack. Long ago, relying on the blessing of 8 inner gates, Su Yu was able to be comparable to the early 4-star stage, and after Ghost Slayer Forbidden Land, Su Yu's combat effectiveness has improved even more. What's more, Su Yu has a kind of self-confidence that even in the face of 5-star beasts, he can fight. After all, the improvement that the sun's breath and the 5 basic breathing methods can bring is all round. Not to mention, now Sharingan has also changed from double hook jade to triple hook jade, which can help Suyu easily find the opponent's weakness. Good. So strong. Cao Ying's body couldn't help trembling, and said with some difficulty. The eyes of Enruruo and Duan Binglan burst out with light. He looked at Suyu as if looking at a god of faith. Suyu slowly put away the sun wheel knife, and with a smile on his lips, he walked slowly towards Duan Binglan's position. Senior, are you okay? Duan Binglan couldn't help but blushed slightly at the gentle voice. The hands were intertwined, stirring non-stop, twisting. No. Nothing. That's good. If something happens to my sister, who will give me a chance to earn credits in the future? Suyu joked. When Duan Binglan heard this, she was about to go up and hammer Suyu's chest, but found that the other 3 people were all looking at her, and her little face turned red. Immediately, Duan Binglan seemed to have thought of something, and hurriedly said to Suyu. By the way, Suyu, there are more than a dozen 4-star beasts in the school, you go and help other people. Otherwise, if these 4-star beasts are allowed to slaughter, the entire Yangcheng University will be seriously injured. Quote. The smile on Suyu's face slowly faded. He looked at the sky, feeling the waves of terrifying air waves from the sky. His face was solemn. The one on the sky, is it above 5 stars? Sensing it, Suyu withdrew his gaze, and smiled again at the corner of his mouth. It turned out to be a 4-star, that's all. Speaking, Suyu's knees were slightly bent, and he was ejected like a cannonball. Duan Binglan was slightly relieved when she saw Suyu go to help. At this time, the 3 of Cao Ying also came to Duan Binglan's side, looking in the direction Suyu left. I didn't expect that the boy who just entered school can compete against the 4-star beast in such a short time. He is simply a monster. Wu Dun sighed. Cao Ying fell silent again, looking in Suyu's direction without saying a word. Suddenly, Wu Dun's voice sounded again. You said, with Suyu, can we really take back Yangcheng in the future? Everyone's hearts couldn't help trembling. Yangcheng, that is the place that makes all Yangcheng students dream about. Duan Binglan pursed her lips, her eyes determined. Will, among Yangcheng University, countless ferocious beasts, like locusts crossing the border, swarmed towards Yangcheng University. 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and even 4-star monsters all attack the students of Yangcheng University one after another. The ferocious beasts, the Scarlet Land, and the countless attacks all created pictures for Yangcheng University. Many students fell into a pool of blood under the attack of densely packed ferocious beasts. Inside the university walls, several 4-star beasts erupted with terrifying power, tearing and biting some 3-star warrior level students to pieces. And similarly, there are also 4-star level students who burst out with terrifying power and frantically beheaded these ferocious beasts. But compared with the killing power of fierce beasts, it is still a lot inferior. Especially some students who faced 4-star fierce beasts, their realms were quite comparable. But the combat power of the beasts of the same level is already above that of warriors. For a while, every step of the way was at a disadvantage. Damn it, why are there so many of these beasts? The young man who asked Duan Binglan to support old Wu cursed secretly. A 4-star fighter from Yangcheng University, Lan Wuhui. The black gold iron rod in Lan Wuhui's hand instantly smashed out several sticks. Each stick seemed to contain hundreds of kilograms of force, and it exploded instantly. This trick comes from the stick technique of the 3rd-generation summoning beast in Hokage. The stick smashed down, smashing a 3-star monster into pieces abruptly. Although the offensive was extremely ferocious, it took a lot of Lan Wuhui's strength to persevere for a long time. As long as it is human, power is always limited. Lan Wuhui no longer knew how many beasts he had beheaded. But looking at the endless wave of ferocious beasts, Lan Wuhui couldn't help trembling slightly. Suddenly, a flash of yellow lightning burst out. Where the lightning passed, countless ferocious beasts turned into flesh and fell into a pool of blood. What is that? Many Yangcheng students noticed the yellow lightning bolt. Lightning roared out, and a young man in the uniform of Yangcheng University could be seen vaguely. With a blade in the young man's hand, it was like cutting tofu, beheading many ferocious beasts one after another, like a meat grinder, killing wildly. Hiss! Who is this person? Why have I never seen this person at school? A student from Yangcheng University gasped and said loudly. I seem to remember this person. By the way, I know, he is the representative of the freshmen. He was the one who defeated Duan Binglan. Many students looked at the yellow lightning on the battlefield, galloping and killing on the battlefield. Wherever the lightning passed, there were ferocious beasts that died under the lightning. The death is extremely tragic. Lan Wuhui also noticed this yellow lightning at this moment, and his eyes were a little dignified. This person's combat power. Even if it was Lan Wuhui, it was impossible for him to kill so many ferocious beasts so easily. This completely becomes a mobile meat grinder. Terrible. But after being solemn, Lan Wuhui breathed a sigh of relief. To have such a ruthless person join, for the students of Yangcheng University, it is undoubtedly a timely help. The other students of the 4-star warriors also breathed a sigh of relief. This kind of combat power is completely comparable to a 4-star warrior. Even worse than that, that yellow lightning flash was Su Yu. Su Yu activated the breath of thunder, and his whole body was like lightning, crazily sweeping across every part of the battlefield, and everywhere he passed, blood flowed all over the ground. With the addition of Su Yu, the situation at Yangcheng University has improved slightly. But, still miserable, because the dozen or so 4-star beasts didn't suffer any injuries at all. The most important part of the battle on the ground was the dozen or so 4-star beasts. If they didn't die, the crisis brought about by the beast horde was far from over. Su Yu stood where he was, surrounded by the corpses of ferocious beasts. Su Yu stared at the still endless tide of beasts, his eyes narrowed slightly, and then fell on those 4-star beasts. It seems that we still have to kill these leaders before these beasts will fade away. So, Su Yu narrowed his eyes slightly, and looked at another place. There are 7 or 8 4-star beasts gathered in one place. And there were also 2 or 3 students from Yangcheng who were 4-star fighters, and they were surrounded. It's here, Su Yu murmured slightly. In his hand, the sun wheel knife was suddenly raised. Aim at that position. Then, wound door, open. Su Yu immediately opened the 4th gate of the 8 inner gates, directly opening the injury gate. The physical fitness of the whole person has been improved in an all-round way. Suddenly, he took a step forward. In the eyes, the Sharingan of Sangoyu turned wildly, locking on the weaknesses of 7 or 8 4-star beasts. Found it. Su Yu's eyes froze suddenly. Then, breath of thunder, one-shaped thunderbolt flash. Yellow lightning burst out again. Like a fierce tiger, it blooms in an instant. Swipe. Accompanied by a series of crisp sounds, a group of 4-star beasts fell to the ground in an instant. Die. 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads, one after another, fell under Su Yu's Rilin saber. The sharp edge suddenly appeared, and the blood did not leave a trace. In an instant, the 4-star beast was killed with ease like tofu. Su Yu stood on the corpse of the beast, panting slightly. Although the knife just now looked ferocious, it still consumed a lot for Su Yu. After all, relying on the injured door and the full force of Thunder's breath, Su Yu already has Uzumaki Naruto's strong repairing power, but he is still a little tired. After all, it's one thing to be persistent sometimes, but quite another to go all out. But even so, such crazy killings still stunned many students of 4-star warriors. They stared at Su Yu in shock, as if staring at a monster. One knife. It was just a one-shot attack that directly killed 7 or 8 4-star beasts. With such combat power, I am afraid that it is infinitely close to that of a 5-star powerhouse. Horrible. Several 4-star level students swallowed their saliva and stared at Su Yu in disbelief. As 4-star powerhouses, they have dealt with ferocious beasts a lot, so they naturally know how terrifying 4-star ferocious beasts are. However, it was such a terrifying beast that was directly beheaded by Su Yu. This brother is from our Yangcheng University. A young man hesitated to ask his companion. If it weren't for the school uniform of Yangcheng University on Su Yu's body, it would be hard to believe that such a ruthless person turned out to be from his own university. And, for Su Yu, their impression is not so deep. Su Yu didn't hesitate, but continued to rush towards the location of the other 4-star beasts. Su Yu knew very well that if he didn't beat these ferocious beasts, it would be impossible to make them retreat. And the best way to hurt them is to kill those 4-star beasts. At that time, even with such a large number of beast hordes, it will not be a big threat to Yangcheng University. After all, Yangcheng University still has some 4-star warriors. Su Yu narrowed his eyes slightly, and the Sharingan turned wildly, looking for the 4-star beast on the battlefield. It has to be said that although the early Sharingan did not improve its combat power very much, it is still very practical as an auxiliary ninjutsu. In addition, Su Yu's use is relatively smooth. In an instant, the remaining 4-star beasts were found by Su Yu one by one. Find it. Then it's time to act. Su Yu turned into a flash of yellow lightning again, madly killing different 4-star beasts. The sun wheel knife frantically swung. Every time he swung it, there was a flash of light like a thunderbolt. The light of the knife flickered, and the corpses of the beasts fell down one after another. Regardless of whether it is a 4-star or 3-star beast, it has no resistance at all under Su Yu's sun saber. After a stick of incense, Su Yu stood proudly on top of the densely packed corpses of ferocious beasts, his arms trembling slightly. Although it was only for a stick of incense, according to Su Yu's physique, it was possible to increase the time by an hour, but under such intense and frantic killings, it was still a bit overdrawn. After all, as the injury gate of the 4th gate, it is the high-level 8 inner gates in the true sense. Entering this gate, the body will start to suffer huge damage. But fortunately, more than a dozen 4-star beasts who entered Yangcheng University also fell under Su Yu's sun wheel knife one after another. At this moment, the attacks of countless ferocious beasts became slow. One is that there is no leader of 4-star level ferocious beasts, and the other is that Su Yu's horrific slaughter finally scares this group of cold-blooded beasts. Ho ho ho. Above the sky, there were bursts of beast roars suddenly. Hearing this burst of beast roars, these ferocious beasts retreated one after another. Morale is gone. At this time, everyone in Yangcheng University breathed a sigh of relief. The beast tide was finally stopped. Everyone's face showed the expression of the rest of the life after the catastrophe. There is no one who is not afraid of death, and being able to survive is naturally the luckiest thing. Su Yu stared deeply at the retreating beast tide, standing alone on top of the beast's corpse, like a god of war. The blood on his body was the blood of a ferocious beast. At this time, above the sky, Li Yeshan slowly descended with the teachers of Yangcheng University. Looking at the desolation of the ground, he couldn't help feeling sad. After settling some of the wounded, Li Yeshan found Su Yu with a strange expression on his face. You kid, you can't hide it. Obviously, at this time, Li Yeshan also knew about Su Yu's record. Su Yu scratched his head in embarrassment and gave a dry laugh. Well, it's just a fluke. A fluke. Li Yeshan gave Su Yu a blank look, then looked at Su Yu deeply, and said, I have something I want to leave to you. What's the matter? Su Yu asked. Li Yeshan took a deep breath, and his face showed an unprecedented seriousness. 100 schools competition. 100 schools competition. When Su Yu heard this, his body shook slightly. Looking at Li Yeshan, Su Yu seemed to understand what he was going to say. The so-called 100 schools competition is a grand competition for all human universities. In that competition, it can be seen that the geniuses of the entire human race will gather together to compete. Su Yu couldn't help showing a look of excitement. Hey, the genius of the entire human race. I'm suddenly interested. When Li Yeshan heard Su Yu's words, he gave Su Yu a blank look, and said angrily. What's the use of being interested? Those geniuses are all 5-star experts. Even if they come to our Yangcheng University, they can be your teachers. Do you still want to go? Even if you can kill more than a dozen 4-star beasts, it's not enough. Li Yeshan poured cold water on Su Yu directly. Those geniuses are not just as simple as the realm. Some people can fight 5-star beasts when they are 4-star, not to mention that they have been promoted to 5-star. Maybe even 6-star beasts can fight against 1, 2. Li Yeshan kept talking. Su Yu just shrugged his shoulders indifferently. Maybe. Seeing Su Yu's expression, Li Yeshan was a little tired, but he didn't continue to say anything, but said straight to the point. I came to you because I wanted you to participate in the 100 schools competition. Su Yu frowned slightly. Really? Li Yeshan came to find him not because he was idle, but because he really had something to do. As expected, he asked him to participate in the 100 schools competition. Actually, I'd rather you go to the next 100 schools competition. After all, it is once every 4 years. You can still participate in your senior year. But there is no way. You have seen the beast tide before. The few students from Yangcheng University, a 4-star student was severely injured and couldn't recover in a short time, so I came to you. Li Yeshan explained. And it's impossible for us to randomly invite 3-star fighters to participate. After all, the 100 schools competition determines the resources that our Yangcheng University can allocate this year. We can't lose this point. Li Yeshan's expression was extremely solemn. Yangcheng University was hit hard when Yangcheng was captured before. If even its resources were deprived, it would be absolutely impossible for Yangcheng University to regain Yangcheng. Li Yeshan took this very seriously. Su Yu also put away his cynicism and his face was calm. Of course, I won't let you go there in vain. You should know that there is a very special forbidden area among the forbidden areas of our Yangcheng University. You would have to study for a few more years before you are eligible. But now the situation forces, we allow you to make an exception to enter the forbidden area of weapon. Li Yeshan whispered in Su Yu's ear. Su Yu regained his spirits immediately. Forbidden weapons. For that place, Su Yu's expectation is not lower than the expectation for the One Punch Man forbidden area. After all, there are all kinds of weapons there. You know, the so-called forbidden weapon area is a treasure trove for choosing weapons. And those weapons are all derived from the weapons in the animation works that Su Yu has seen. Su Yu couldn't help but licked his lips and nodded slowly. Good. With Su Yu's consent, a smile appeared on Li Yeshan's face. The next day, the sun has returned to the earth. Wisps of gentle sunlight slowly fell, and yesterday's depression has disappeared. Instead, it was full of meaning. On the playground of Yangcheng University, a dense crowd had already gathered. And on the high platform of the playground, Li Yeshan stood there with a solemn face, and said loudly. Everyone, yesterday's beast tide was an invasion by ferocious beasts, but it was also a great victory for our Yangcheng University. Yangcheng University, killed 3 6-star beasts, 8 5-star beasts, and 4-star beasts. When talking about the 4-star beast, Li Yeshan's voice couldn't help but pause. He looked at Su Yu in the crowd. But seeing Su Yu's indifferent expression, the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching slightly. Slay 13 4-star beasts. Thousands of beasts below 3 stars. As soon as Li Yeshan's words fell, there were bursts of cheers from the entire playground. With such a record, it would be considered top-notch in any second-rate school. Except for those first-rate universities and top universities, there are only a handful of second-rate universities that can achieve this record. Li Yeshan's expression was also affected by the cheers, and a smile appeared on his stiff face. This is a great victory for my Yangcheng University. I believe that in the near future, Yangcheng will be regained by our teachers and students of Yangcheng University. When he said these words, Li Yeshan's voice couldn't help trembling. The fall of Yangcheng was a scar on Yangcheng University. An indelible scar. Li Yeshan looked at Su Yu in the crowd leisurely. This student who has just entered the school and can kill 4-star beasts may be Yangcheng University's hope for recovering Yangcheng in the future. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.